Apologies for absence.
So we've got Tony, and I think we've got ongoing apologies from Roy. I've not heard from Val.
No, she might come on yet.
Yeah.
Right. Declarations of interest. There's three types there. Has anybody got any declarations of interest? No?
Not at the moment, but if it comes up, I will.
Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you very much.
It's all right.
Representations from interested parties.
No one's interested.
Minutes of the previous meeting. Can we approve those?
Yeah. Do you want a proposer?
Malcolm proposing.
I'll second.
Ian seconding.
All in favour?
Yeah.
That done. I like it when it's quick, you know.
Yeah, by 8 o'clock.
Right. To receive the income and expenditure sheets, I'm assuming you've all got these.
Yes.
Is there any queries on them, or we're only just receiving them, so there's no real need to sort of go into them, is there? No? Okay. That's that done. Right. Fletton House update. Now, the thing I looked at on that, Lisa, is that I can only see one estimate. Is that all we're having?
What's this for? The lifts?
Yeah.
Yeah, the lifts. Yeah, yeah, and also the door ladder to the trap door and the ladder.
Yeah, the quotes are from the people that have got the contract for actually maintaining them.
Oh, right, okay. So all in favour of that particular quotation?
Hang on a minute. Do we review these contracts every now and again, Lisa, or what happens?
Yes, yeah, we do.
How often do we review it?
Well, these haven't been reviewed since I've been estates officer, and I'm not sure how long this contract runs for. But I can check.
Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
These bits to the lifts that need to be done have all come about because we've just changed insurers. The same with the locks on the doors at Fletton House. We've just changed insurers, and they have changed the engineers that come round and check the lifts and check the locks and all the rest of it. So these reports that we're getting from this new company for the new insurer seem a lot more detailed than what we've had in the past. Whether it's just because they've taken over and they're just being a little bit more conscientious, I don't know. But certainly with the equipment down at the wreck, they highlighted a lot of little observations, not massive things that need, you know, attention immediately. But when I got the list back, having seen the list from the other companies that used to come and inspect them, I was horrified. I thought, oh my goodness, we've got so much we've got to do. But when I phoned them, he said they were like advisories. He said if there was something urgent, obviously we'd tell you it's got to be shut down and sorted. But he said it's a bit like advisories on an MOT, as long as you look at them and looking to do something about them before the next inspection, then they're okay. So these quotations here for the lifts, they are just advisories, but I'd rather get them done straight away rather than wait until.
I agree with you, before it gets worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
So shall we accept the Fletton and the courthouse one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good also that they're drawing these things to our attention rather than, you know, too late when it's crisis.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I do think we have to keep an eye on the length of contract they're giving people without.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
yeah. Can I have a proposer and a seconder then, please?
I'll propose.
Yeah.
second.
Malcolm, yeah,
All in favour?
great.
Now, if you excuse me a sec, because I can't find, I've got it here somewhere, but God knows where I put the update for the hub and the QVH and the courthouse. So bear with me a
There's
second.
no update for the hub.
It's
No.
quite
No, no,
Same as
but-
last.
I'm just going through the
Where's the one?
paperwork. Ah, here we are.
It's now closed.
Yeah. Right. So, Fletton House, systems up check. We've just that's all been done, and there's multiple faults have been rectified. One problem is still outstanding. That's the EO chased Jan 2001 work to be completed on the same time with the pre-scored door fitting, so alarm contacts to be installed. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
The
Absolutely.
hub, as you say, is now closed.
Quick question on the hub. I noticed last week, are we still paying coffee machine contracts?
No.
When? No.
That's gone back. Rebecca sorted that out, bless her.
Cool. So we're not, from now on, it's sort of clean sheet. We're not paying any more contracts for anything there at all? Cool.
No.
Lovely. What, just,
Yep.
sorry,
Oh,
one other
sorry.
point. What do we
Okay.
need to do about, I know it's going to be 6 months or 8 months or whatever. Do we need to start thinking about what we do with that space and maybe putting things in place? Or just leave it until we know what the world is doing in 6 or 8 months?
Oh, that's a good question.
I've
it's
actually had a
really
chat,
cool.
just so that you know, I had a chat with a good friend of mine. He happens to be a really good chef. And I said, why don't you look at the hub as maybe doing a restaurant there? But I also told him that he might not have the opening hours that a restaurant would expect. You know, Saturday nights, Sunday nights, etc. And he said, without those nights, a restaurant would never work in
No.
that place.
No,
So I think we can forget saying having a restaurant. Anything else, I'm not sure. I suppose we could have it as a bring your own coffee place for, you know, people that want to meet as a community.
well, I think we have to think it. Sorry, I should put my hand up.
No, you're okay.
I think we should be looking at Fletton House as a whole, as well as rooms being let. And the original idea was to support the letting of the rooms. So I don't think we need a full cafe for that. You might need tea or coffee or just something very simple. But we have to decide what we're going to do with how we're going to promote the rooms at Fletton House. When there's this question of the changing room for the dance studio, and so I don't know where we've got with that. We're going to build them, but, well, nothing's happened. Nothing. Will
Yeah, it was going to be a new changing room and more facilities downstairs, wasn't it?
happen. So maybe we could.
We actually voted on that to do it as well, and it never happened.
No.
So
But
I don't know what we can do with it, to be honest. I mean, it's almost like a little white elephant.
Which is the cafe or the.
Yeah, the cafe. Well, the Fletton House as a whole, to be honest. But that's a different story, and I'm not going to get into that again.
Well, it's supposed to be a hub for the community, and we're not making it one. But then it's impossible at the moment. But I think maybe we should think about making it a hub again. You know.
Well, why don't we?
And we can't depend on the school for everything. You can see that we locked all the gates. But apart from that, that's a bit about it. But you know, we can't depend on the school for sending the community. I think we've got to generate it ourselves.
How about if we all at the next meeting? I know there's only 3 of us here, but obviously with the other members of the committee as well, we all come back with ideas of how we could revitalize the hub and make it more of a community centre. I don't know what for, you know, but we do. I agree with you, Malcolm. If we're going to keep the hub, then we need to do something with it. We just can't leave it empty.
I think it's got to revitalise Fletton House on the.
Well, there's that. Yeah, revitalise Fletton House. I mean, there's a lot of kitchen equipment in there as well, isn't there?
Ian, you're being very quiet about this.
Which we could sell.
Who's quiet, me or Lisa?
You.
I started it. It's always good to start conversations and let other people talk. That's good strategy. You see.
Coward.
You don't have to do very much. No, I think there's probably 3 or 4 groups, I would imagine Lisa will know better than I do, who will really miss the hub being shut. And maybe our best approach is to say, do any of them want to sort of use it on a voluntary basis, you know, on a Monday or a Tuesday or something? But then I suppose what can we provide them with? What's their obligation to us, and what's the litigious side of such things? Are they allowed to use, I don't know, kettles, ovens? I have no idea. So maybe that's something we can look at and just see that if we then people could use it. They'll come in, they'll use the rooms, they'll use the facilities, and then head off very happy. And it's no overheads for us. It's a big magnet we want it to be.
One of the things that I thought was encouraging was the repair shop idea, which, you know, sort of had a nice little a run, and obviously COVID it and things like that. But I can't see any reason why we couldn't do that sort of thing. Even have somebody in the hub doing paintings and art. You know,
Well, we can do that in the rooms upstairs, of course.
Yeah, I know we've got. Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, if we can make the hub an artistic centre, the downstairs, we might get people in thinking, oh well, this is nice. This is a nice area. Why don't we have a room upstairs for X, Y, Z? You know, something that draws in people, like, as I said, an artist gallery or something like that.
Oh, look,
You
Tony
missed
and
both
Vala.
of you two.
Tony and Vala coming in on a cavalry charge. Just on that basis, as part of the Oundle Info, Love Oundle replacement website conversations that we've had, the idea is to sort of really try and flag up facilities for hire around town, and particularly push our own.
That would be great.
So
Yeah. Well, that would.
will come of that, but we'll know more when the first draft comes out.
Well, if we do that, we then can put a package together along the lines you suggested, maybe. Ian.
Yep.
You know, people can.
I mean, if we had some sort of art gallery or something like that, you know, with you know, sort of art, paintings and sculptures, etc. You know, Oundle Council could take a commission.
We could put a museum in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Careful.
that might be an idea. Okay, so shall we move on?
So we're going to leave this over to next time. But
I think what I'd like to do, Malcolm, is have everybody discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, talk among themselves about it, and then bring back ideas next time, so that we can then formulate something moving forward, rather than an ad hoc situation now. You know, because if there's 5 or 6 of us saying, right, we could do this, this, and this, we could then vote on each part next time. And I'm not saying that's a binding vote, but just a vote to say, right, let's do that to see if it works. If it doesn't, in 6 months' time, we can try again, something different. But let's try and revitalise Fletton House and do something in the hub that actually brings people into the Fletton House to look and to gaze and to, you know.
It is a community hub in broad
Yes,
sense.
exactly. Let's make it a community hub with that sort of thing. I mean, another thing that we could do, and you know, I'd love to see it in Oundle, because we are quite a dark area when the lights are off. And again, unfortunately, I don't know if we could do it at the time, but it would be smashing if we had some sort of astrological planet type thing that we could bring in people, you know, with a telescope, etc., etc. I don't know. Anyway,
I'll go next time. Yeah.
Galactical ambition.
Sorry.
Galactical ambition.
Exactly. Why not? You know, can have any ambition it wants. It's just a matter of making it happen.
Cool.
Right.
Right. The courthouse. Okay, so Berries are trying to let.
You missed QVH.
Oh, sorry. External. Yeah, sorry. The external paintwork in need of attention. Have we got any estimates on that yet?
No, we were gonna see if we could do it in-house, whether it's a job that Nobby Nobby, not John, because we don't really want him going up ladders, but we think it might be a job that when it gets warmer that Nobby can do. So I've asked them to have a look at it first.
That's a good idea. Yeah, they're good. They're good value for money.
Can somebody attend to the notices on there and, you know, clear out the old ones?
They should be done, Malcolm.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, I haven't looked recently. I looked a month or so ago and they were full of old stuff. You know,
I know Rebecca, because I had the keys here and Rebecca wanted them because she was going down there to sort some notices out. So she probably did it then.
And the car park as well. The car.
See, that's a job that Deborah normally does, you see, but obviously she has to shield with all that's going on. So she's been out of action.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Right, the courthouse. I see there that Berries have got leases currently being prepared for offices 2, 3, 6 and 8, with Oundle School Annex Office 4 is still available. So we've got just one vacant if the other 4. Right. Can I ask again, Lisa, we did have a letter which I thought was going to be brought up tonight about one of the tenants wanting a discount on his rent. That's not on this agenda.
I remember seeing it, but Emma didn't ask me to put it on the agenda. So is it going to go to full council? I think it's
already
probably going to
has
be on full. Right.
and it's deferred to here. Sorry, Vo, yes, carry
Right.
on.
Well, we've discussed that and we decided no, we couldn't do it. Let one
I thought
person.
so.
Yeah.
We
Did we?
decided
I
we weren't
thought
going
it'd
to
been
have
passed to
spreadsheets.
mistakes. My
We've done
apologies.
that.
Yeah.
We decided not to.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Well,
I was going to
let's forget
say
that.
Emma didn't ask me to put it on. So
Okay,
No, we sorted it at a previous meeting.
that's good. Thank
Okay.
you very much. I was there, but I didn't. I've obviously misread it. Okay, gents' toilets.
And
Not a
labour.
lot we can do about that, really, is there? Unless, as it says here, we put a new dispenser in, which limits the amount of toilet paper. I'm sorry, I find that really funny.
We've
Yeah.
never had that as a problem before.
No,
Maybe it's COVID related.
yeah, possibly. I don't know. Right. Well, anyway, I'm sure that the upgrade schedule is will be okay.
Can I just raise 2 questions on car parks, since it's car
Of
park?
course.
Ooh,
The long-term car park, as part of my little wanders around town, I was wandering around there a lot. Is it worth trying to get those saplings that are growing out underneath? Try and
which
get
car park are you talking about?
the
The
long-term car park down by Jones Strong.
okay.
There's
Coffee
3 or
Go.
4 or 5 spaces that are taken up. The tarmac's broken, and the roots of the lime trees, I think, are coming through and popping out. I'll quite happy to go down next weekend and cut them. But I mean, is it worth just trying to attend? Are we allowed to do that? Because I know it's a leased property, but it seems before the damage gets any stronger. And the second thing is, and I know you've raised this a few times, Malcolm, do we need to start pondering what comes next, as and when the lease on that runs out? Because it's used for all sorts of people. But is it worth thinking, where would we be able to get extra parking, particularly if more housing is going in that area, as it seems to be? What's in 5 years or 10 years time?
Val, do you want to talk, and then we'll come back to that part?
I'm just going back to the roots. I thought that again, our chaps were going to go and sort something out. Every so often, we seem to have to chop them up, get rid of them.
yeah, Emma's been dealing with. Is it Mr. North,
Yeah.
the owner? And yes, I believe you're right. I think they were going to get John and Nobby to tackle some of it. We were about to look in, from the last conversation I had with Emma, getting it re-tarmacked, but it would involve quite a lot of root removal. So
Yeah.
I think she was in negotiations with Mr. North as to how we proceed for a more permanent solution to it.
Yeah.
How long have we got left?
couple of-
I think it's 7 years, 6
Yeah,
or
it's
7
about
years, I
7
think.
years.
Hmm.
2 things about you doing that, Ian, and I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Insurance.
But if you
Mm.
cut yourself or did yourself any damage, you're not insured by the council. So therefore, I don't think you'll be able to do it.
Not a problem. I've only ever hit myself in the head with a crowbar once, so.
Well, I'm just saying, Ian, I'm not being horrible, but unfortunately nowadays,
No, I understand.
you know,
It
but
is.
I think Ian and I think Nobby and John
John.
could do that. Val, sorry. I spoke over you. Val, what did you
I
want?
was just summing up, saying
Oh,
it is.
right.
It is in hand, so we don't need
Yeah,
to.
so we don't have to worry about it. Okay, thank you very much. Right, the recreation ground. Well, we'll have to say thank you very much, Ian. That
Yeah.
half pipe seems to be working really well.
Yeah, no, it's all It's all Lisa's pushed the right man into the right place, and
Yeah.
as we say, it's just something we need to keep an eye on. But it's shut at the moment, so such is life.
Mm.
Can I ask, have we got any prices for maybe upgrading the rest of it, Lisa?
Funnily enough, Dave, who did the half pipe, emailed me today and yesterday, and said he's not forgotten about us. He's just had quite a lot of little bits that he's doing, but he's working on some, I think, visuals and some ideas. He had, when Ian and I met with him, he had quite a few really good ideas. And I think just basically because of what's going on at the minute, everything's kind of halted, hasn't it, or ground down to a snail's pace with everything. But he just assured me that he's not forgotten about us. So yeah, once things get a little bit, if and when things get a little bit more normal, we can start pushing on with that again.
Yeah, I think we should. I think we should sort of see where we can get with it, to be honest, before we have no funds left. Snipe Meadow.
That looks really good. But, I couldn't work out exactly what they wanted us to do.
What, the bird survey?
Yeah.
Survey the birds. Count birds, I think.
How? We go there once a day or once a week, or
Well, on the 31st of this month, there is a great bird watch counting session. You're supposed to be able to mark down what you see and send it off to, I don't know the chap's name, but
the man on the telly.
Isn't it? Yeah. So there is that. So that might be an idea if there's anybody there, but it seems we have a Snipe Meadow volunteer.
Yes.
Sorry, go on.
He volunteered quite some time ago. I actually know him quite well. And at the time, we were just having the boardwalk done. And I think there'd been some talk about having some volunteers to help care for Snipe Meadow and all the rest of it. And at the time, we were still in the process of having the boardwalk done. So I couldn't really give him any particular duties or anything to do. But as soon as this Wildlife Trust survey came in, I said to Emma, is it okay if I forward it to this gentleman that's shown an interest? And I thought, well, now the boardwalk's done and we're getting these sort of requests in. And also I've had some other people email me who want to be volunteers. I thought if we could get somebody appointed who is a good point of contact, then we can kind of guide people towards him. And as I say, he's got loads of experience in this kind of thing. So I just thought it'd be perfect. Although Ian has also got somebody that's been interested as well. Yeah,
I'm cultivating, doing one of the two things. Someone in a very similar role. So I suppose the question is, do we have one? Do we have a couple? Do we have 3 or 4 if they're keen and interested? I think I had a really nice walk down there with someone last week, and we were exercising at the same time. Sorry, it wasn't a walk down there. And his view, he's got 180 snipe on there a couple of months ago on our meadow and the meadow next door and the meadow beyond, and a lot of other really interesting birds. And he's saying that there's some people in the community who know an awful lot about this and can give us loads of good advice about how we manage it. He was really excited by the way it was cut last summer and says if we can do that again, possibly in strips, that will encourage. He doesn't think we've got enough land to get them breeding, but they're certainly coming in, and these are pretty rare birds by the sounds of it. So certainly if we can appoint one now and then maybe appoint other wardens in the future, that would be an ideal situation. Get a team of people looking after the place for it, because I mean it's funny, the last few days with all the snow, it's become hugely utilized as people, you know, it's a walkway, but they can get out in the middle of a flooded meadow with snow everywhere. It's been really heavily used. So the more we look after it, the better.
Can I suggest, and I don't know if this is possible, that we have a warden for Snipe Meadow, and we have a warden for all the other natural areas that we've got in Oundle, to have a look at, to keep an eye over all of those as well. So maybe 2 chaps like this Philip, I've lost his name now.
Philip Horsnail.
Philip, and maybe your chap as well doing something similar in other areas. because you already said the site next to the Snipe and another 1 or 2 areas that might be useful.
Yeah, they're not ours. That's the only problem. And it might be something that the warden or wardens can do, is to start working with the other landowners. I don't know who owns either land, and the permissive paths down there as well, and try and sort of create a network of land use for people, because particularly as this part of town starts getting more and more built on, there's going to be more and more people walking down there.
We need more areas that they can go on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I would have
shall we
thought,
ask both of them?
yeah, I would have thought, let's say yes to one tonight, and then be prepared to offer 1 or 2 others. And if we find there are, there's other warden ideas coming up in a bit, but if we certainly find people like the footpath warden, the more people we have involved in this who are engaged and involved, and we can point other people towards the better.
Yeah.
Well, let's start with this Philip chap and then go on from there.
So can I have a proposer?
I'll propose it.
All right.
Second,
Yeah.
Malcolm?
All those in favour? Carried.
Thank you.
Now, I was a bit bemused by this next one
That's all right.
because I didn't know what workshop NTR meant. I
Nothing
know
to
about the workshop.
nothing to report.
Ah, right, sorry.
Just
See,
saves me
I
typing
don't
it
know
out. all
these
the
abbreviations.
I thought it was the Neen Valley Railway with a mistype.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
But there's this report on what the solicitors have done, and they haven't done anything as far as I can see since April last year or something. Is that correct?
With the
I was
rugby,
gonna
the land.
come to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to discuss that.
That's
Bit
later
later
on,
on.
isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's later on.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Yes.
No, that's all right. Right, now, we're still in talks with the co-op. I'm assuming that hasn't gone anywhere.
No.
No, but they keep us updated with the highways. They're fitting the charges in bays in the southward. Do you know when that's going to be happening?
Well, it was. I was told it was January 2021, but there doesn't appear to be anything happening at the moment.
I should imagine everything's on hold anyway because it's not an essential job, is it, at the moment?
No.
Okay. Right, now, the pathways at St. Peter's need attention. Now, normally Nobby and John would do this with the help of the community service people, wouldn't they?
Yeah, the community. It's a little bit more than that. It's not just keeping it clear. There's a heavily worn area that really needs digging up and replacing. I've had the 2 quotes in, but I recontacted the 2 people that had quoted just in case there was a difference in price, but both of them have said at the minute we're probably better to wait till the better weather comes.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be, Oundle School have agreed to contribute towards it, and St. Peter's Church have said they're happy with us to carry on and do what we feel is necessary. But I think we need to wait and then get a re-quote when the weather improves.
So the quote we've got at the moment we'll just ignore for the time being, Lisa.
Yeah, I mean, both of them said to me that there shouldn't be too much difference in the cost, but with what's happening in the world at the minute, supplies and things, some certain supplies have just gone through the roof, haven't they? And they're just not particularly easy to get hold of. So I think to get a better picture, we better wait till we're ready to do it before we start getting more quotes.
Okay, that's fine. Any questions, gentlemen, ladies?
Nope, all sounds good.
Oundle Cemetery?
Oh, hang on, sorry, Pete.
What about the bollards or something?
Bollards, yeah.
Oh, that's what we've just been talking about.
I thought we were talking about
Paths.
footpaths.
No, we were talking about paths just then. It's the
Oh, sorry, I
bollards
thought
we
we
need.
were talking about the bollards as well. My apologies.
We need to approve. Well, I think the bollard issue might go back onto full council because I enclosed a quote for £1,200, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did.
£1,280 plus that.
Yeah, and then I chased the other chap today, and he said 500 plus VAT.
Yeah, 1280 sounds a lot of money to me for doing that.
It possibly is, but that includes fitting. This chap that's quoted 500, he told me today he doesn't fit them. Now these bollard covers have been or we've asked them to be specially designed by fabricators.
Why?
So I said to Emma, I'm not really very keen on going for the cheaper quote and then having to get somebody else, another contractor in to fit them. I think if it's been fabricated by a fabricator, it should be fitted by them because they've made it.
Why have we got bespoke ones? This can't be a.
Because we had the lovely new wooden bollards fitted. If we'd have gone with what we've got at Fletton House and had them all removed and gone with those easy removable, easy to lift ones, we wouldn't have this issue. But at the time, council decided to have wood, so it looked the same, using the existing fittings. And obviously when those bollards are removed, we have two covers, but they just slot over the hole, so anybody can remove them. And then they become a hazard, they become a trip hazard. So our new insurers have insisted that we have covers that are hinged and attached to the ground, but also that lock, so they cannot be removed by anybody except for the person with the key.
Okay, so we have, do we approve this quote as we've only got the one? Because
No,
the other one obviously is not up to the standard we want.
Sorry, Val.
It has to go to the council, doesn't it?
I think so, because I think I've been struggling to get people to do site visits at the moment. So out of 5 fabricating companies, only 2 of them were willing to actually come out on site.
Okay.
And I wasn't prepared to get designs just via emails and pictures and all the rest of it. And I'm just a bit concerned, although this other quote has come in a lot cheaper, I'm just concerned that he won't fit them. I think we need to get the same people that make them bespoke and get them to fit.
Okay, so we'll pass that on to the, sorry, Ian.
Let's check that quote that we've got in front of us. That's for the people who are fabricating the items and would then fit them, and that is the whole kit and caboodle, right?
Yeah.
There's a turnkey, basically. You let them get on with it and finish it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think so.
So
We'll pass that on to the full council for the next meeting.
But
Yeah.
sorry, do we pass it on and recommend it's accepted, or just pass it on and let the same discussion take place?
I think if Lisa can get a second quote, and
I'm going to try and get
sort of out,
another quote. Yeah.
then we
So
can check it out. But if it's only one quote, we might as well say, yeah, accept it. Is that okay?
Well, I think if we're going to wait to the full council, we might as well leave it to them, quite frankly. We'll see if we get another quote in the meantime, but if we don't, we don't.
Right. Arnold Cemetery. Yeah. So we know about the cutting of the grass, because obviously we haven't got the community payback people doing it. John and Nobby can't do it all. It's far too much for them. So I'm assuming we have to carry on with the contractor. Ian.
I was down there a couple of weeks ago to try and take some photos for the Hound of Life article. And I ended up being down there for about an hour, partly because I was trying to take photos without my lenses on and my glasses, and I couldn't see what I was doing. But I was amazed how busy the cemetery was. With people, living people, but with people walking as well as visiting. And it sort of struck me that it's one thing we need to be aware of. I was in Yaxley a while ago, and they use their cemetery as a recreation area. There's lots of seating, there's lots of nice flower beds, and it's a place that people can go and sit and walk and contemplate and reflect, etc. And it strikes me that we particularly, as we're not big on open spaces, we should probably encourage that by making the cemetery as welcoming and as nice a place to spend time. And we owe it to the community to keep an eye on that. So, it was just an observation, really. And the seats look really good.
Yeah, those seats are really great, aren't they? They look fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you saying we should do more?
I think we should. I mean, I was trying to work out why some of the paths are tarmac, some aren't tarmac. And certainly the ones that aren't tarmac, I saw 2 people in there with walking sticks, and it looked like it was pretty hard going. I think making it look appealing would be good, but that's clearly a big issue. And we're coming on to wildflowers later, and that might be something we sort of look towards doing down there at some point. So it's an attractive place to spend, but that's sort of like a 5-year strategy rather than a quick, what are we going to do now sort of thing.
Yeah, something like that will have to take time, and you know, hopefully, if we can get enough people to sort of think like you, Ian, we might be able to get something done with volunteers again. Not the tarmac, but possibly the grounds itself. And you're right, something like that is very peaceful, very nice to sit and contemplate. And yeah, I'd agree with you entirely there. If we can get that done, that'd be fantastic. But I think we need to sort of come back to it, when we're out of this horrible thing we're in, to see if we can then say, well, look, there's a couple of volunteers that want to go down there, plant a few flowers, you know, even put a sort of little, I don't know, display in the middle somewhere. I think that would be nice. But let's see what we can do on the future.
Okay.
And as you say, the benches do look good, and they last a long time. The others still look good. They look. I don't see there's really any difference between the new and the old ones there.
No, they're
Apart
brilliant.
from the others are more bedded in now, you know, but it's good. Right, Jones Strong Centre. Now we have up with this a quote for the garage repairs, which I believe are asbestos. Is that not right?
Yeah.
So asbestos cement, I'm not sure if they need to have special clothing on for that sort of thing. I've no idea. I'm not an expert, but I know asbestos can be a problem, can't it? So
You
if they
have special people to do it. They have to be approved to do it. They have to know
yeah,
how to do it.
exactly.
It's their responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's got the qualifications. I asked him whether they needed replacing, and he said we can replace them if we want, but he said they can be repaired. Obviously the repair's not going to last forever, but it's a lot less hassle because everything in those garages would need moving if he was going to strip them down and replace it. And there's a lot of stuff in those garages. It's two sections that are cracked over 2 different garages. So his suggestion for now would be to repair it.
I think there's
Sounds
2
good.
things I'd say on that. I agree. I understand why the need to repair them is, but we own that centre, and eventually we're going to have to pay out for a new roof anyway, aren't we? And it's only a short-term fix. It's not going to last forever. So it might be worth, you know, obviously doing this, but also ask him how much it would cost to have the roof sorted and take the asbestos away, which would be, I would have thought, a long-term solution rather than a short-term fix as it is now.
Okay.
So if you could ask him how much it would cost for, you know, replacement, that would be great. But so do we agree on it getting repaired anyway?
I think so. I think 680 is not
Propose
a lot of money.
I'll propose it that we get it repaired.
I'll second.
I'll support it.
Everybody in favour? Smashing, thank you. Markets.
Hang on. OTC green spaces first.
No, I've got Jones Strong Centre and then markets.
We're on the report, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. OTC
Oh,
green
sorry.
spaces.
Yes. Yeah. For some reason, it's not on this. It's not, so I'm reading off this thing. From Lisa. I didn't read. I wasn't reading off the agenda, so I do apologise. Okay, so we have the OTC Green Spaces Properties and Signage Plan. Now, can we start with signage first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I understood the signage, but I didn't understand what they wanted us to do anywhere else.
Well, it's not then, it's me, I'm afraid.
Oh, you did the whole lot.
Yeah, sorry. When I get bored, I start typing.
Right.
Not
Okay.
doing any actual work. I was roaming around somewhere a few weeks ago, and I suddenly thought, oh, it was up round Creed Road or somewhere, and I suddenly thought, I think this is our land, and I think we're responsible for it, and I think there must be, but I didn't know. And it suddenly struck me when I was walking past a dog bin as well that was full of stuff, that there's a lot of stuff around the town that if you know stuff, you know who owns it and who doesn't own it. But with NNC coming online and ENC dying and so on and so forth, and our new logo, I thought, is it worth us looking at, you know, sort of rebranding property areas that we're responsible for, giving, you know, playgrounds that we're responsible for, because there are some that aren't ours and they've got some signs on, and some that aren't ours don't have signs, and just trying to come up with some sort of unified strategy. So I think what I put together there was a list of places and examples that I thought might be relevant, and rather than going up with anything more serious today, if we sort of maybe come up with a definite list, and then see if Pumpkin Print could give us a quote. It might be £5 to do everything, it might be £5 million to do everything, but the idea of putting our brand on the stuff we're responsible for seemed a good idea. And then the other stuff, you know, seeing if we could get other people to take responsibility, like grit bins or dog bins or litter bins or whatever it happens to be, because there does seem to be a lot of stuff that is unknown as to who owns what. So that's where it came from, and it sort of became a longer list, and you know, Occupation Road got involved, and you suddenly thought there was a lot of places that if I was a tourist or I was a new resident, I wouldn't know what was allowed and what wasn't allowed and who was responsible for it. So hence the genesis of that. And yeah, that's it really.
Okay. Well, I know about the Creed Road. That actually is supposed to be emptied, the dog nesting I'm talking about, by Persimmon Homes, because Oundle Council would not take them over. So therefore Persimmon Homes are supposed to be doing that. Malcolm.
Well, I think it's a very good idea. We put signs on it saying who is responsible, and then we don't get a lot of unnecessary calls to the council, and we have to do the work and, you know, pass it on.
I don't really agree with the sign. I don't mind them at all. But you know, I do know that this is a running sore.
Even if we're not responsible, put a sign on there and tell people where to go.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal.
Persimmon Homes.
Yeah.
I think Rebecca had an exciting conversation with someone who said, would you like us to do that? And they suggested that wasn't a very good idea, but that might change in the next few months when NNC come on board, maybe. But anyhow, I thought, you know, it's something that we could pursue if we like the idea, and then it gives us clarity and people are aware of what is ours and what's theirs. As residents, we're all paying money, and we're getting a lot for it, but maybe people don't quite realize what they're getting from the town council compared to what they're getting from other sections. So it seemed a good idea to make people aware of that if we want to go ahead and at least get some prices.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I have no objections to getting all these signs sorted and put on there, providing the price is right. Val?
Well, yeah, I'm not against it. I think we have to be discreet about it in some ways, because the school went through this thing of putting signs everywhere, and it looked like MOD had taken over in defence. It looked terrible, and the townspeople were absolutely horrified. But I think it's the sort of thing we could bring up at the next town meeting.
Yeah,
it's ownership of the town. It would be
well,
really...
that's it. And I think the difference here would be that rather than someone saying this is ours, you can't use it, this is actually us saying this is yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do use it, but you know, use it responsibly. And so that was sort of the idea of it. I'll try and make it a little bit more pretty and stylish, and maybe if we send it off to Pumpkin Print, get an idea of prices, even if we have to do it in stages, at least people will see some of the big things, if that's okay.
Could we do it for...
The only thing I object to is the blue behind the Oundle Town Council.
Well, that was just an example, and it could have been blue on white, but I forgot to do the second example, then it appeared on here. So that was my incompetence rather than anything else.
Well, red would look much better.
Well, I think it has to be because our new sign is blue because that's the way the website works.
Yes,
It has to be a
sorry.
white
No,
sign
come
with
on,
blue light.
joking. I know it'll never
I
get
think
reread.
if you go ahead and get quotes, I don't think it'll be the same sign in every place. That's the trouble. It's almost have to be designed for each place, won't it?
I think there's probably about 3 or 4 signs. So I tried to group them places that you just need a sign, even an A4 sign with Oundle Town Council and some contact details, even if it's just the website. The people then can know who to call if there's a problem or there's a I don't know, a stray horse on it or something or other.
Okay.
And then 1 or 2 where we need to put some rules and regulations, perhaps a little bit. But I don't think there's many signs. And then some like the cemetery, Joan Strong, just a name that's branded. It started going down to Snipe Meadow actually a few weeks ago, and the sign there it's slightly obscure, and it doesn't really say that we're responsible for it. So it's sort of claiming the town's patches for the town and giving contact details where needed.
I agree.
I don't think there's any problem with that at all, Ian.
Cool. Well,
We must make sure that where other people are responsible, it is labelled that way, because otherwise, if everything's got Oundle Town Council on it, we'll get thousands of people. Especially, I know about the dog bins because they're always over subscribed, if you like, and things are left outside around them, and they're very close to children's play areas.
They are.
Okay, thank you very much for that one.
Are we going to ask Lisa to get some quotes, or what are we doing? We need some more work first, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think we need a proper design, and we need to put, like for instance, if it is owned by Oundle Council, it can put this area is as Ian's done on Coombe Avenue there. This area is run by or owned by Oundle Town Council, and these are things that you want to be. This land is owned by managed, OTC logo, contact details, dogs on leads. Yeah, take rubbish out. I don't see any problem with that. With the cemetery, I would go to the same sort of thing. And again, dogs on leads. There's no parking in the cemetery anyway, or shouldn't be. And we should actually have. I don't know if a map would be a good idea for the cemetery. It's not that big, but I think if you followed a route, that would be better. And we've got the 2 entrances, so I think signs like that. We do have toilets in the. We do have logos on the toilets, don't we? In the car park, in the co-op.
I think it's got a big sign at the top that says Oundle Town Council, from what I remember.
Yeah, but it doesn't have contact details.
Probably not.
Right.
I think it
What
just
about-
says Oundle Town Council.
What about times open?
No, it's not got that either.
So that might be a good add-on.
Mm.
And the rubbish bins, we'll have to double check to actually at the moment ENC empty them,
If
so they would become NNC, wouldn't they?
we get Rebecca maybe to do some work just on the design of some sort of the simplest range possible, and then just get some idea from some suppliers about how much it might cost before next month. Would that be a good starting point?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
That's fine.
We'll do. Get on it.
Okay. Well done, Ian. It's very good.
No worries. Am I the next one as well? Am I wildflower?
Where are we now then?
No, we're
Markets now.
Markets. Yes,
Markets.
markets. Okay, so I'll put that away too soon. Right, so on the markets, are we really seriously thinking we can put mobile sanitizers in there?
They're ordered. We looked at various options. So the first point, I think everybody they're all wearing their masks now.
But they weren't when I went down there last time.
Who was not this time,
There was a
Malcolm?
guy on the vegetable stall wasn't wearing it at all, and the others were hardly wearing them. One of the others was hardly wearing them, and he was serving customers, a young guy, yeah. And 1 or 2 of the others weren't wearing them properly. You have one person on the stand not wearing them, and the other person wearing them. So I do think I mean, Karen's a Rottweiler that goes down and sorts them out, isn't she? So, so she seems to get everything.
Yeah, I mean, she can send them another
We need somebody to go
reminder.
down there really and talk to them.
Karen's not able to. I mean, I can try and get down there and have a word with them.
Okay.
The problem is, I know you've said before, it's our market, so we're allowed to set the rules. But when I spoke to the PCSO, he said because it's outdoors, we can't really enforce it. It's outdoors. It's different when it's indoors.
It was our
But
rules.
I
That's it.
know. Yeah.
And-
So
and you know,
I'll go down and
we all-
remind them.
We all know what it's like out there, so we've got to do what we can.
Yeah. I'll make an effort. I'll see if I can go down this week and remind them.
Okay.
And about the hand sanitizers, we looked at, I think it was Ian, was it you that sent a link of some quite big,
Yeah, big horrible thing.
yeah. The issues with those, one, the cost, two, storage, and three, even
Yeah.
just getting them in and out of Nobby's vans would have been an issue. So Rebecca, with Pumpkin Print, came up with this quite good idea, which I don't know whether you've seen the bollard covers that slot over
Yeah, they're
anyway.
Brilliant.
It's just an adapted version of that you can actually tie on the hand sanitizer dispenser, and they can just easily be removed at the end of the day. I mean, Nobby did say to me, well, where are we supposed to store those? Because on a Thursday, it's not an issue. Nobby goes down and removes anything that needs removing. But if it's a farmer's market, it's usually the
Someone
chappie that cleans the bins, the ENC guy that used to...
Oh, I know,
with
yeah,
with
yeah.
the beard. He
Yeah.
kindly puts everything away for us. And Nobby said, where's he going to put them? I said, well, I think he could probably put them behind Owen and Hartley. And then if you just make sure you remove them on the Monday, I think they'll be safe enough over, over a Sunday. But yeah, Emma authorised them to be ordered. So Rebecca, that's all in hand. So they should be here soon, hopefully.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Right, back to the agenda.
Just going back to the markets, I did notice that nearly all the customers were wearing face masks this time.
Yeah.
Far more people walking through there seem to be very aware of it. So that was
Yes.
encouraging. So
Yeah. It's only taken about a year for the message to get through, but there you go.
Right, Ian.
Me again.
Transition Oundle and the Bloom Initiative.
That's not me, I don't think, but
Okay, well, it's in your notes. It seems some Transition Oundle have asked if they could put blooms in, mostly in the market square, isn't it, Lisa?
Yes.
But they want to put edible food things in there like this. I don't know if you've seen this thing there. There is just one problem I foresee in that the council did actually try this some time ago. I don't know if you remember. We had a big herbs and thing near where the new post box is now on near the bus stop there, and it just got overgrown and nobody used it because nobody thought it was any good. So they were a little bit scared about using, taking the food. I don't know. It'd be great if we could do it, and people would benefit from it. But I'm not sure if it would actually ever happen in Oundle. What do you think, Val?
There was an initiative. Lisa knows a lot about it, and Lisa tried to clear up much later when they were all tumbling with weeds and stuff. And I think it's the idea, the fun of planting. It's fine, but they don't follow up. And I think it's right that the people don't eat the food, don't eat the stuff anyway. There's so limited what you can put in that's going to be.
I don't know what people have been doing with it.
What do you think?
I think when it was done, it was lovely, and it's a lovely idea, but you have to get people, the same with anything, to commit to keeping it going,
Keeping it up. Yeah.
not just ditching it when they've lost interest in it.
Yeah, that's my view.
Ian.
Yeah, I agree.
two things. Is this part of the Grow Oundle thing, or is that another thing?
Um,
Because I
I
got an email
think-
about that this week.
I think, I don't know, I think it's incorporated in the Oundle in Bloom bit, but I'm
Right.
not quite sure.
And the second question, is it worth going back saying that we like the idea, but last time there were problems with watering, there were problem with weeds, problem with people not taking it. So can we get some more details about how it's going to run in a 12-month cycle, maybe?
Plan, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. 12
Let's
months.
We're going to
move
do
on.
that then and
We've
leave
done
it at that.
haven't we?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, smashing. Thank you. Okay, so now we're back into. Oh yeah, this is the that we've done that, so that's okay. To receive an update on land registry issues to the rugby club.
We not have to make a special announcement first.
Yeah,
All right.
please. Closed session.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, it is a closed session, isn't it? All those in favour of a closed session? Well, all those against? That's 3-1.
Right, let me pause.
Now, before we start discussing this,
Right,
so do we come out now?
we're out.
Oh, right, okay, right. So can I have a proposer then, please?
I'll
Yeah.
propose as discussed.
I seconded.
Oh, yeah,
All in favour?
All in favour? That's
Yeah.
fine.
okay.
Okay, the next thing then is to look at the October action plan, which I've got somewhere. There we go.
All been
Okay.
done, hasn't it?
Hmm?
Oh, excuse me.
It was a short list, so that's good.
I think it's all been attended to, isn't it?
Yeah,
The only other thing is that green space.
change.
That's the my flowers thing. Do you want me to talk about that now or later, or
Oh, we can do it now.
it was something
It's part and parcel of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
it was discussed back in October. I think people were perhaps a little bit concerned, as per the growing vegetables in town thing, that it's a lovely idea, but who's in charge, who goes hand. So I produced that document for the last meeting, which didn't happen. So it's come through to here that we maybe sort of prioritize 3 or 4 areas and advertise for a wildflower warden for each one, to sort of take responsibility for the area, get a small strip rotivated, put some seeds in. It might be too late this year, but we could still try it. We had some pretty big success on our little patch just out here and planted in March, I suppose, lockdown time.
Yeah, look very good.
And then just see how it goes and try and get 3 or 4 people who live near those sites would be interested. And if no one came forward for each site, then we say we tried and try again next year. But at least it sort of puts the responsibility on a person, a group, and gets that community buy-in and sense of ownership with the project. And then if it went well, we could try and expand it. If it didn't, then we could try something else. So the idea might be, if it worked in 2 or 3 years' time, we could put some bigger patches in the cemetery on the edges of Snipe Meadow, that sort of thing, to really have an estate to be proud of. But the idea of getting people on board early on as volunteers, wardens again, seemed an easy way of bridging that gap between ambition and actual delivery.
Sounds good to me.
One of the things we could do, Ian, if you put out Oundle Life, or when you put Oundle Life out, you could ask for volunteers for that sort of thing.
Well, I've been ready and willing to do it, but we needed to get approval. So I can put in the next Oundle advertise so that we'd like to try and find some wildflower wardens and see if anyone volunteers. And then if we have names, try and take it from there.
Yeah, good idea. I have seen no
Will do.
problem with that. Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I'll
yeah.
get the advertising as soon as possible.
Great, smashing.
Yeah, great.
So
job.
we'll move forward on that basis. Okay,
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
anything else you want to discuss, anybody?
No.
No,
I
that's
think-
good.
That's Emily, it's any other business now then? Has anybody got any other business? I'll start with Ian, because you're in the top right-hand corner, left-hand corner to me.
Mine is only, and it's something that Lisa's on already, but just to raise the issue of gritting in town and grit bins, and you know what is now is gone. But in terms of as we move to the new council in April next year, just making sure that we don't sort of get forgotten on the gritting routes, etc. Because I've had to help push 2 or 3 cars up St Peter's Road this afternoon, and it says it's been. We're told that it's been gritted, but it hasn't been gritted. So just keeping on top of that for next year. But that's just to raise it.
Well, the grit bins were full. I don't know when they've been used, apart from yesterday. But they were full at one stage.
Could be, but the one down here doesn't seem to be a council registered one. So, but it's just in terms of making sure that when NNC take over, we get ourselves back up their list again.
We
Well-
will have a list. We'll have a list somewhere of the ones that we do own, because
Yeah,
when they tried to get rid of them, we had to make a decision about not owning a couple of them. I think, wasn't that right, Lisa?
That's right. And we actually fill those up ourselves, don't we?
We do. So we
Yeah.
can't grumble about the district council if we're not doing ours, can we?
No,
I
but
know
as-
the one in Wakeley Close was full, and I know that John and Nobby filled up a couple last year as well. Because you bought the salt off me. Sorry. Interested party, sorry about that.
declaration of interest.
I only did it as a one-off because I wanted to buy a load. Malcolm, any other business?
Well, the only thing is, I don't know if it's part of how we should do it or not, but the end of the church, what was it? Charles Church development, the end of Glapthorne Road at Persimmon, the one that was on the former field there. It's got a little playground at the end of it. And the fencing around it on Glapthorne Road is just disgusting. It's just, you know, a bit of scaffolding basically. And it's about time, they've had it long enough, they put a decent fence in. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you
every
talking
time
about
I
the new
drive by-
development on the left-hand side?
Yeah. Well,
Cricketer's Way.
Yeah, that's the one, Cricketer's Way. I can never remember the name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And just at the end there, the fence that's against Glapthorne Road is disgraceful.
Should we, Lisa, can we write to them and asking them to
I'll let
make the fence a proper
Re-
fence?
Rebecca's on annual leave this week, but I seem to recall she had a couple of complaints about that and was dealing with somebody. So I'll speak to her next week and see if she can chase them up again, because there has been a few complaints with people saying, is it closed off?
Mm.
Is it broken? What is going on with it? So I'll find out from Rebecca where she got to.
It's ugly, that's for sure.
It is, yeah.
There's a pathway onto Glapthorne Road that's blocked off as well, isn't it? I think so. There's a gate, and they've got a big scaffold gate in front of it.
Have they?
I think so. But then it's a while since I've cycled past it because
Mm.
I'm working from home.
I can understand why they closed it off, because there's no footpath there and there's no crossing. But anyway, if you're going to
But
close
should-
it,
yeah,
put a decent
okay.
fence in.
Let's look at what they have done and what they should be doing, and let's suggest that they start to do what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Well. Anything?
I don't have anything.
No? Well, I don't have any. Oh, sorry, Ian. Go on.
One more thing, and it's not really relevant, but I've had a request. Grow Oundle, who are looking at this transition Oundle and some other growing things put together. They were wondering if, as part of a logo they're designing with QI Marketing, who are doing our Love Oundle website, they could borrow our heart, not our heart, but the heart from the logo, and put it on the Grow Oundle logo. It's been through the comms group. No one's got any problems with it, but we were asked to raise it tonight. We'll be launching ours in a couple of months' time, and it seemed a good idea to spread the word and smear it everywhere. So
I thought you were the comms group, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say,
No,
it's only you.
I've got friends. Lisa's a bit. She answers some of my emails, and Bullet does, and Emma does. And don't be rude. I've got friends. I have. There's not many, and they only talk to me by email. But apart from that,
If the comms group approve it, should we just say yes? Yes, go ahead.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, okay. On that.
Thank you
You
very
have
much.
to report an interest in that.
I do. I'm very interested in it.
So, is that okay, Val?
Sorry?
Would that be okay for our heart to be used on other
I have
people?
no idea.
Right. Okay, 3-1.
3-0.
I've lost the will to live.
Actually, do you know? I tell you what.
There's so many grow groups now. I can't work out. And then we've just made another one. There'll be that many people doing bits of growing things. It'll be amazing.
It'll be the same person doing all the work.
Exactly.
The amazing thing is,
Well,
we've got through the whole meeting in less than 1.5 hours. That's
Yeah,
not
well,
bad.
let's do it then.
Yeah,
Let's
come on.
do 5
Right.
more minutes.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody, and thank you very much for
Sorry,
joining.
I was late. I couldn't get into the link.
Ah,
Okay,
blame
you made
Lisa.
it.
So I had to get on to Tony, and then another one suddenly popped up.
Ah, yes,
Tony
that's why
popped
Tony
up for
came.
quite a short time. I don't know what it's. Anyway.
Tony couldn't get it in either. He was trying.
What can I say? Have a nice evening, everybody. Have a good day
Thanks,
tomorrow.
Lisa.
And look
Yeah.
after yourself.
Take care.
Keep safe.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, it's time to stop the recording.
Well,